Today's gospel takes place in the cenacle where Jesus and his friends had the Last Supper. Jesus had just finished the dramatic gesture of washing their feet. And then he further shocks the disciples with the warnings of Judas's intention to betray him. And after Judas leaves, Jesus addresses the remaining 11 apostles. Though they did not understand what he was talking about. They did not get the full grasp of his message. Their present friendship is about to be transformed forever. Transformed into a new community, bound by the same way that God the Father loves his Son, and how the Son loves the Father. So Jesus gives them a new commandment. What is new is the model that Jesus leaves them. Elements of selfless, sacrificial, forgiving love that renews and recreates all of human relationships, that transforms the most godless, secular worldview into the compassion and justice of God. I don't know how many of you saw the movie Wicked. The theme of the movie, as far as I'm concerned, helps us to understand the message in the gospel tonight. The movie centers on the story of Elphaba, a young woman who will become the Wicked Witch of the West. She is born with a brilliant green skin, rather attractive, a condition that isolates her from all her friends, relatives, and even her father gave her up, rejected her. But this woman with green skin has an internal strength of character and a very deep sense of responsibility. So Alpha meets popular Galinda, the good witch, in waiting. She is the blonde-haired, pink-dressed, flighty Glinda. She's the antithesis of green-skinned, dark-clothed Elphaba, but nowhere as gifted. The two are students at a university, Oz University, famed school for sorcery. The two loathe each other right from the beginning of their meeting. So Glinda eventually offers to help with Elphaba's problem. Elphaba responds as she usually does when this topic comes up. Fine, let's get this over with. I am not seasick. I didn't eat grass when I was a child. And yes, I've always been green. So Glinda says, well, it is my intention to major in sorcery. So if at some point you want to address your problem, I could help. Elphaba says, problem? I have no problem, and I will have none of this. Like Glinda, and the good people of Oz. We can easily let another's so-called problem be an obstacle to love and to relationship. But the real problem is ours. Our inability to see beyond labels, our refusal to embrace the needs and hopes of others, our obsession with status and wealth. Jesus entrusts his church, the people of God, a new standard and a new understanding of love that places others first and the common good before our own. A love that conquers every obstacle and so-called problems to realize the love of God in our midst. Pope Francis said, to change the world, we must do good to those who cannot pay us back. Not long ago, someone confronted Francis, and that person offered his concept of love. I first loved my family and my relatives, and then my neighbors, and then the people of my country, and then and only then foreigners. Now, Pope Francis responded, as I mentioned to the people at our memorial mass. He reverted to his Spanish, and when he was talking to some 50,000 teenage kids in Barcelona a couple of years ago, he responded in Spanish, todos iguales. Todos iguales. In other words, all deserve our love and our acceptance equally. Pope Leo, before he became Pope, addressed that individual who offered his concept of love to Francis, said, Jesus, as far as I know, does not rank our love for others. In his outstanding letter from a Birmingham jail, Martin Luther King, years ago, criticized the local clergy for their appalling silence. He said, human progress, peace, and love and acceptance never rolls into society automatically. But through tireless efforts of people willing to be co-workers with God. The local clergy did not like that. We are called to love with a vision of God. A vision that sees beyond skin color, beyond language, beyond nationality, beyond religion, and beyond tattoos. To see all human beings created by the same God, we are called to love one another, not merely as statistics or numbers on a spreadsheet that can be erased, put aside, or moved around. Every human being is deserving of respect and honor and love. May we find in these difficult times the selflessness and generosity to love one another with Jesus' selflessness and generosity. It is possible. James Baldwin, one of our great American authors, once said, "In this world, there isn't much humanity, but there's enough." Pope Francis shouts from his tomb in the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore, todos iguales.